We live, we here, going forward the podcast. I got a special guest today.
Yes, sir.
I think we on episode. I think this episode 5 or 6. I'm not too sure, but I'm alright with that because that just means I'm working. I'm getting busy. I'm getting to it.
True.
So I'm gonna
Peace.
let my brother introduce himself, talk to the people, let them know who I'm sitting here with.
Peace, King. First and foremost, thank
Facts.
you for having me. Nev, all I go by, Jersey City born and raised. Home, putting on for the town, just trying to build the people.
Facts. All right. So real quick, somebody that's not from Jersey City, probably not from a demographic or a urban area that we come from. Just give them a little insight what it was for you to grow up in a environment like that.
True. So, I'm from Duncan. I lived down Montgomery Projects for a long period of my life. Uh, I don't know, man. Trenches, bro. A lot of activity going on, a lot of different persuasions going on when you're young, misguided, not a lot of direction. Uh, Role models that you're looking up to might not necessarily be into the right things, but they living inside of their circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Then when you get older, you get a little bit of more mobility. You understand that the city's segregated, so the challenges that you facing in your area isn't necessarily happening to other areas, and it's all occupied differently. So youth was hard, but you know, the older we get, the more clarity we get. We understand, we move better. So you able to still live in those environments and not necessarily let that activity absorb you.
Where what's something that you could say when you was able to see a difference? Like it's not really like this where I'm from, but you go to a different part of your city and you see maybe an activity or something that really stood out to you.
Probably downtown, bro. I used to feel like the Heights was a little different too. You know what I'm saying? Like there was
Mm.
still elements of like violence and despair up there, but in terms of overall or how overwhelming it was, it didn't feel like that up there. But downtown, bro,
Where
you you maneuver around there and you don't feel the same edge on your presence. Like the way you got to make observations in certain places, you're not necessarily doing that. And it's weird because like now I do that like in a conscious effort from being around people that's not Africans, right? Because I don't have those stigmas about my people, but just about being safe. Like it was just a certain freeness that you was able to move with down there, whether it was from police or whatever the case may be. Like that's when I really felt I so our neighborhood necessarily don't gotta be like this. I was still young. I wasn't able to make those systemic connections, but like I knew that like they living like this, we living like this, but like why? You know what I'm saying? Cause we
where
niggas.
where so what so give us like a little bit of insight. What was it for you that was growing up? What was like really what was it that really drove you to just to be Nev? Was it a sport or was it just always empowering your people? Was it always like that for you or like what did this really stem from?
Truthfully, bruh, as a kid, I was probably empowering niggas in the wrong ways. You know what I'm saying? Like young, being misguided. I went to Dickinson. I was caught up in that Duncan and Marion fiasco, and then like Duncan and Marion, like territorial with the heights and shit like that. So I was always kind of like, all right, come on, we gonna be on this, we gonna do that. And I got myself in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? I had to do some time in the program. I had moved to Morris County. So take the circumstances I'm giving you about downtown and flip that times 100.
Mm.
Like now I'm surrounded by people that's like you 16, 17, they get Mercedes Benzes like as vehicles. They got two parent households. They got economic structure, security. So I'm really seeing that like, all right, how we living where I'm from, like 45 minutes away, really don't got to be like that. I spent maybe like 5 years out there. I'm talking like critical years too, bro, from like 15 to like 19,
You said
20.
this is Morris County?
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll backtrack a little bit and get a little bit more specific. I was in Dickinson. I had got jammed up there probably like my sophomore year. Went to the youth house, went to the program, did that whole route. At this point in time, they had like this was when money was actually in those programs for like youth, you know what I'm saying, really find a way. They had an independent living situation.
Mm.
So I'm out there in the program like 18 months. I get 16, 17. They can put me in my own apartment. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to the public high school now because I done earned that. Help me get a job, get a vehicle. So I went that route, just stayed out there because I
Mm.
was like, all right, this might be the best situation for me. Whole time in the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, homies is dropping, people getting life. You know what I'm saying? Shit is just, it's moving how it's moving. So I'm out there, I'm building a foundation out there, but something keep pulling me home, you know what I'm saying? I keep making home visits, like I keep coming home and I'm like, I'm realizing that this not where I'm supposed to be indefinitely. I was supposed to be out here for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? maybe give me a broader scope on like how life be. But I
Mm-hmm.
need to go home,
Or
so I came home at 20, and I was more engaged. I wasn't fully conscious, but I was more engaged because I had seen like two sides of the coin for real. So I was more engaged. I wanted to do the work, but I ain't really had that fire in me like how I be moving now until my big bro passed, 2016, and like feel me when he passed, like it was a lot of pain. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't really have nowhere to put it. So like I found a rabbit hole, bro. Like I remember being in the crib for months, just like trying like maneuver with the grief. I'm on YouTube watching like speeches of like black activists and organizers from like the '60s getting into the Panthers, really finding Malcolm. I read the autobiography of Malcolm X probably when I was like 14,
mm-hmm.
but it didn't hit me until I read it like in that grief period where I was looking for somewhere to put that rage. So like in that time period, it was a shift for me. Like I reinforcing that all these circumstances that we going through is systemic. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why education is failing us by the time the fourth, fifth grade, where people not paying attention. They only paying attention to where we get to high school and when we start getting in trouble. But little do they know we've been unenthusiastic this whole time because we got teachers that's failing us, curriculums that's not prioritizing our history and our culture and ourselves this whole time. So I started to make those connections, bro, and that shit just activated me. I'm like, nah, I gotta get to work. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't have somebody else in this type of situation. They losing a brother, they losing a sister. You know what I'm saying? We dying, and it's not just by gun violence. It's a whole plethora of ways that we could get into, but it just kind of came full circle in like that 6 month period, and then I was like, all right, I got to get to work.
or so I bet. So it's 2016. Rest in peace to your man. Your man's passes away. So what's the first thing? What's the first thing that you do that's kind of like completely different from any other action that you took? Like, what was the first step that you took, and that kind of just like you know established you as as an activist?
True, bro. And rest in peace to my big bro Trails for real, because that's really a foundation for what I'm saying my
Mm-hmm.
life. What I'm saying. I started a blog, bro. I used to write a lot. I always been a writer. That's always been kind of like my main craft. But I started a blog called The Inevitable Perks, play on my name type shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Inevitable bound to happen. My last name Perkins. So I started a blog and I was getting into, you know what I'm saying, socioeconomic issues, life issues, motivational talk, really expressing my writing. And like it was received well. You know what I'm saying? Like it started to build a following. I started to have a community, getting in tune with more writers. And while I'm writing, I'm reading, I'm educating myself. And then from there, this was around the time Donald Trump became president. And like I got my bro in here with me. It's funny because this some shit that niggas would never do now because it's kind of reactionary. But fucking niggas had a anti-Trump protest in New York like 2017, bro. This was the first rally we ever threw, bro. Wallahi, it was 8 niggas there. You heard 8. So and they had motherfucking M16s out because we outside the Trump Tower.
Yeah.
And this was around the time of the Kaepernick situation that was going on too. So we took a knee out there. We
Mm.
got white people walking past us. They cursing us out. It's a silent protest. You know what I'm saying? We got signs or whatever. But it was deep, bro.
And you 20 years? No, you 20 years old?
I'm 20. I'm 22
22.
at the
Okay,
time. I was 21 in the rabbit hole. Now I'm 22,
got you.
starting to
Bet.
like actualize, like starting to get into it now. So we out there, and like a lot of the people that's out there is my homies, but like I say maybe like 3 is my homies, and then like 4 or 5 people that like actually came from like seeing the action, like
Mm.
posted or stuff like that. And it's like it taught me something too, called the 1/3 rule. Like if you having an event, like whatever, however many people you think gonna be there, it's probably gonna be 1/3 of that. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? You gotta be prepared for that and still understand that the intention of the event, and if that's secure, then you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Or the program, whatever it is.
Got you.
Protests are an event, but that was the first situation. Yeah,
And so you said this was for anti Trump.
this was an anti-Trump protest, bro.
So you saying so looking back at that, you think that's something that you probably wouldn't partake in now, probably.
Definitely not, bro.
Got you.
It's Trump is an individual. You know what I'm saying? he like one spot of a disease inside of a whole system. So like we know what we facing. We can't like allow the enemy to push us here and push us here. You know what
Mm,
I'm saying? Like we got to be focused on the bigger goals. So like, nah, we would never just attack one issue like that. You know
got
what
you.
I mean?
That's what it's about, though. You know what I'm saying? We live and we learn.
Growth, bro.
Or so, what was it like with so you gone, you in Morris County, right? So you come back now, you come back, so you back in the hood, you 20, right? So what was it like with your peers? With like, how did your peers accept that? Like, dang, he acting different, or like how was that? You know what I'm saying?
It was an adjustment, bro. Like when I first came home, I was a little low. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't necessarily sure how it was gonna be received. Like initially, you know what I'm saying, I was young, so I wasn't fully in the streets, but I was headed that route and like I was actualizing that. And then I got bagged, and then that was the last thing some people knew. But then some people knew, like who was tapped in with me, that I had ended up like somehow making that work and living in the suburbs.
Or
So I'm like, now I'm coming to home base. So I just kind of played it close, you know what I'm saying, with people that like I was locked in with throughout the whole time. My support system, I stayed with them, and then like eventually, like once I felt that love and that like that home base and that community back rooted in me, then I kind of, you know what I'm saying, was just in tune with everything that I was in tune with, and it wasn't really nothing. Cause bro, people grow. You know what
mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like I might have had people that I don't necessarily associate with now as much as I did back then. That kind of was like, damn, bro, you done got suburban or like you done got proper and like your whole like steez is different. But like I'm still the same dude. You know what I'm
Or
saying? I don't know. I done broaden my scope. I done diversified my perspective. You know what I mean? But like it be like that.
so what's some of the stuff that you cause okay, so now let's fast forward. So now this was what 2016. So how old are you now?
21, 2016,
No,
21.
no, I'm talking about like currently right now.
Oh, I'm 27,
So you're
bro.
27. All right. So now
Yeah.
we 6 years now. So now we here. So what's some of the things that you could look back on and say that you I mean I know I could see the things. You know what I'm saying? I follow you. For the people that don't follow you, what are some things that you're actively doing like in the community in our community?
True, bro. So I'm a founding member of an organization called Build More Unity. It's a Pan African grassroots organization, and long story short, but I'm gonna get into the long story. We just stepping for our people. You understand? Like we maintain a survival distribution program that runs every week, where we build with the people on first and foremost political education. Try to educate our people on some of the things that's going on in the world, in the Black diaspora, and like where we live directly in our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Some of the injustices that we facing, some of the violences that's happening in our community, to get people to first care about what's going on, so they could actualize their involvement too. But also we provide resources to the people, usually warm meals, groceries through a food rescue co-op that we work with, clothes of all sizes to all genders, and sometimes depending on the nature of the individual and their status, whether they're houseless or not, we be having other resources like care package, hand sanitizers, and stuff that you might need to survive on the go.
Or
And we maintain that every week. So that's one of our programs. We also ran a community cleanup program for the past 3 years in the summer, something that we looking to transition into to the winter months as well. And one of our goals with that is to occupy different neighborhoods for programs and to build and like educate with those residents on the importance of like taking care of your own neighborhood, and then eventually get cleanup programs in every pocket of where we at. Because in most places, bro, like there's city maintenance, but it might only be city maintenance during the week. You know
mm,
what I'm saying? So the weekend trash fills up. There's also not enough trash cans for the places that we live. They not like changing the trash cans out. So it's not just, oh, it's those people throwing garbage on the ground. It's like, oh, we don't got access to all the resources we need, but we could do that ourselves. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? We could buy the picker uppers, we could get the garbage bags, and we could make it a thing where we could do that shit every Saturday morning. So that's something that else that we trying to put in place, and we just trying to essentially, bro, organize black people and, you know what I'm saying, other colonized people, other Latin people, other Asian people, to, you know what I'm saying, battle white supremacy and get ready to, you know what I'm saying, take our freedom. Because we might feel as though we free, but we not, you know what I'm
Or
saying? And have freedom ain't freedom.
for real.
Word.
I was watching something with Young Guru and just kind of like segueing into that is kind of he said for a minute I thought life was like a chess and shit, but he explained it. He was like, it's not. It's just a strategy game. He said because in chess I start with the same pieces, you start with the same pieces. That's not how life works. You get what I'm saying? And the way he broke that shit down just had me like, damn, life is really not chess is really not a game of life. It's just a strategy game. And like you said, you just getting us ready to we gotta strategize. We can't just do what they doing on that side because we see that's what they doing. Now we gotta figure out what we got going on and move accordingly because to keep us going. You get what I'm saying? So
100%.
and I definitely so if somebody wanted to tap in, let's say donate some clothes or tap in with the street cleanups, just drop. I mean, I'm gonna drop the Instagram, but just drop your Instagram just so you get what I'm saying, or whatever Instagram they should contact. You get what I'm saying to be able to tap in.
True. Build more unity on IG, Twitter as well, and that's our email for any ideas on programs and stuff like that. You know, we looking to actually get into the schools to start implementing educational lessons there, and really try and like entrench ourselves in every facet of the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just about what people consider politics, even though everything is politics, bruh. Down to the water we drink, the clothes we
Mm-hmm.
wear, all that shit is politics. But it's not just about that, you know what I'm saying? It's about economics, it's about food, it's about shelter, it's about business. So if you look into, you know what I'm saying, organizing people, you gotta meet them on every element of their life. Like if somebody hungry, I can't build with you on Pan Africanism or communism if you ain't had no warm meal. Your stomach growling, bro. You ain't
Mm-hmm.
trying to hear me. So like that's what we on. But yeah, build more unity on IG, Twitter, and that's our email too.
Where because that's honestly me when I came across that program. That's how I met you during the well this was during the pandemic.
Hmm.
Everybody was home and I kind of felt crazy like why I ain't been know about this. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, why was it around before then, or did you start it around that time?
We was founded in 2019,
Okay, so it was
like
fresh then.
April.
All
Yeah,
right,
so it
bet.
was still fresh, still
Almost a year
young.
in. I
Yeah.
bet. So that was a crazy first year for y'all then, because y'all was outside and you know what I'm saying. I got footage. I got a lot of footage. I'm gonna drop some when I drop the episode. We got footage from all the walks from when bro pulled up right in front of the precinct. You get what I'm saying? Bro's outside putting in that work, bro. And like I said, I
All
seen
for
it.
the people,
I've
bro.
seen it firsthand. You get what I'm saying? I've been outside with bro. I done walked with him down the blocks, cleaned up. You get what I'm saying? I done did it. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So and me not being there as much as I should be, I feel that shit like damn, like nah, like you get what I'm saying? Like there's no way I can watch you do that and just be like, oh, that's what's up, bro. Like nah, it's like oh, nah, let me roll my sleeves up too. Like you get what I'm saying? So I definitely always appreciate it, bro. And just even the way we met, it was like I've never met another black man that's my age, that's my you get what I'm saying, in my environment on that type of time. Like you get what I'm saying? Like so that shit was definitely fire, bro. So let's touch on
That's
that a little
love,
bit.
bro.
Like the pandemic, all of that 2019, 2020, like that was crazy, bro. Like so like like let's touch on that. How did you feel? Like what was you feeling during that time?
True, bro. True. Uh, First, bro, let me say real quick, like I had seen a quote from Kwame Ture, like one of the revolutionaries. I kind of admire that details that, some people give 5 decades, some people give 5 years, or some people give 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But we all play a critical part in the struggle. And right now, you giving me a voice to be able to talk to your community and your people so that they can tap into this movement we got going on. I take that seriously. I
Facts.
appreciate that,
Nah,
bro.
facts, bro.
Word. So, the pandemic, it just kind of it just super highlighted like everything that was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like all the injustices, all the issues. Like it just put a scope on everything because it's a virus, right? So it's like everything that's already going on is just super clockwork. So like inflation, like quote unquote food shortages, because there's not a real shortage of food. Capitalism is just creating food
Hmm.
shortages. So everything that they doing to us, people just started tapping in, bruh, including police brutality, which somehow like gets propelled as like kind of the main thing that like kind of drives people into like a temporary consciousness. I call it a temporary consciousness because it's usually generated by the media. I'm saying the pigs that kill somebody, it'll get videotaped. There'd be some reactionary rage, depending on how deep it is. Thousands of people will go into the streets, but they know how to like use that and like get it under control. You know what I'm saying? God forbid they won't be able to forever because the revolution will prevail. But this is what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like mapping it out. So our sister Breonna Taylor passed. You know what I'm saying? May she rest in power. Brother George Floyd passed. Brother Ahmaud Arbery passed. These are all catalysts for the George Floyd Breonna Taylor rebellion. So this is simultaneously going on with the pandemic, and it opened everything up. Like it was real opportunity. Like you said, we was in the streets, and like you know what I'm saying. We understand that like this is a lifelong journey, and you know what I'm saying. We might not see like freedom in our lifetime, although we striving for it. You know what I'm saying, and we laying the foundation. Right there, it was looking like it could be it, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That was the largest mass mobilization in this country's history. Like millions of people were outside. Like we in our neighborhood in BMU, we was on the move, bro. So like we was facilitating programs out here, protests out here, but we was in Linden. We was in Newark. We
Mm-hmm.
was like all up and
That was
down
definitely
Jersey
everywhere.
trying to build, bro. Trying to really see what's going on. Trying to help raise the consciousness. Trying to tap in with other orgs. And it was a lot of productivity that came from that time period. But ultimately, bro, it wasn't organized. You know what I'm saying? And if we look back, bro, that's the same type of thing that happened maybe like 10 years ago with Trayvon Martin. It
Mm-hmm.
happened with Freddie Gray. It happened maybe like 20 years ago with Rodney King.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like it keeps happening. And if you peep it like on some sick shit, it happens a lot of times around election time too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Cause they able to use that momentum. So like it go from I say this all the time. It go from Black Lives Matter to Vote or Die. And you peep it and it's in like 3 months, bro. Like 3 months. Like the people will be outside, they'll be protesting, like it'll be mass movement going on. At the same time, there's mutual aid networks happening to support people. It's jail support going on. Like communities are like building like what we call dual power structures, like separating from the state. And it be happening. But then all of that energy gets funneled back into electoralism. So now Joe Biden comes up, you know what I'm saying? And now Joe Biden is like to people that's unconscious, the opposite of Donald Trump, when they just two sides of the same coin.
Exactly.
So they put all that energy, and then they get us to do it too. You know what I'm saying? Our elites, the Diddy's, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? The Tamika Mallory's, the people that like do this work that like we do, but they not really do like the blue check activists, the
Yeah.
Sean Kings and all of them. They get them to get 100% behind these folks, and then they just take out all the steam, bro. People leave the streets and they go to the polls.
So what do you feel as though has to happen, or what do you feel as though we should be doing or shouldn't be doing that we're kind of repeating?
First of all, I feel like we waiting for them to tell us when to get mad.
Mm.
Man, we should be mad every day, bro.
Mm-hmm.
In Jackson, Mississippi, they don't got clean water. It was just a super hurricane down Florida, and all the Republicans voted against FEMA aid. Said that they don't need no aid. It's calculated that it was hundreds of deaths already. Why we not mad? You know what I'm saying? So we should be mad every day, bro, and we should be taking that rage and we should be doing what we can to serve and organize the people. But instead, we react. You know what I'm saying? We not a proactive people at all, bro. We sick, we diseased, you know what I'm saying? We unconscious. So that means that we respond, but we don't get ahead. We got to shift. That's the shift. That's the core. We can talk about a lot of different things,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the core shift, bro. We got to stop reacting.
Take control of the situation.
Right,
Stop waiting for something to happen in
right,
order for us to bring some type of action.
right,
Damn, that's deep. That's true though, and that goes from and that starts from within too. That starts from within with realizing shit about ourselves. You get what I'm saying? Like we can't wait for somebody to. I can't wait for my little brother to be like, "Damn, big bro, why you always acting like that?" For me to see how I'm hurting him to be like, "Damn, now let me change." Like I should already see if I should already see how I'm affecting the people that's. You get what I'm saying? So it really does start from within and shit like that.
self-actualization,
For real,
bro.
for real. I do got my boy Stefon. He about to walk in real quick, and this like a little special. You know what I'm saying? Like he gonna be a co-host and shit. So forgive me, pardon me. You
True.
get what I'm saying? But I'll be right back though. I'm gonna open the door for him and my son. We open. Yeah, outside. You go ahead though, bro. We live. You keep talking. Let them know. Talk your shit, bro. If you want to jump in, you want to jump in. You know what I'm saying? But y'all good though. I'll be right back.
True, bro. Damn, I'm accurately aware that I was super in the zone with you, my boy.
My bad, bro.
Nah, you good. I'm just saying that's a good thing. Like,
He out. He ain't driving.
A lot of times, like getting into these deep talks, you know what I mean, will take me a minute to really find that place of comfort to speak to somebody about those deep principles and stuff. But I really rock with you. You my guy.
That's real. Nah, yeah,
I
bro.
could just build
This
with
shit
you.
was worth the wait.
100%.
Right back.
Or
You got brothers?
huh?
You got brothers?
In the struggle, but nah, we not blood related. Yeah, that's my brother though.
That's a productive build, though. It's necessary.
How it's easy for the conversation to come out and talk about what he's talking about, and then I just like I just said what I'm saying is I can up this side of the conversation.
Yeah, what was I talking about? You heard?
And the camera's already on, so as soon as you walk in, so
True.
I'll be back.
Oh, shit, my fault.
Peace,
Bro,
bro.
Steph. Just like that.
Never,
bro,
bro.
Steph. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
You can have your seat right there, bro.
You said it just like bro.
Yeah.
Definitely said they had
I seen
similar
him like
structures.
years ago, but
Yeah, where he ain't. When the last time you saw my little brother?
shit, this was like 2017 for real.
Right,
This was a
word.
minute ago.
Word. So, alright. So, first and foremost, introduce my boy Steph, Nev, Steph.
What's up?
So, this idea of sitting down and doing a podcast came about. This was 2014, 2015.
Yeah, 2015.
Me and him, like you said, it just came with it started off with an idea, and life was just happening. Not even bad, you get what I'm saying? He graduated college, so it's not always bad shit. You get what I'm saying? So like, and that's one thing too. I hate when not that I hate, but I really don't like when you tell the person, oh, life going on right now. Oh, this thing's gonna get, nigga, like, life has to happen in order for me to get better. You get what I'm saying? And that's just like with the chess. We don't all start with from the same place. So anyway, that was an idea that we had, and that you get what I'm saying. He sparked it off. He brought it to my attention. I said, yo, I'm with it. I want to do something like that. And life was just happening. He's graduated college. I had a daughter. You get what I'm saying? So, but we here now. So that's why it don't matter that I had to go outside and go get him, because I'd rather go outside to go get him than be like, damn, bro, it's raining. We in the house not doing nothing. We could have been doing something.
Right.
We doing it already.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So once again, excuse us, but we here. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just let my boy Stefon actually introduce himself. Matter of fact, we can switch seats, so you can come sit over here, bro, because the mic is close over here. And then word.
You want to bring that in the middle? I don't know if you can move that.
Nah, because it's plugged in right now.
Ah,
Yeah, word. There we go. What y'all seeing right now is us just getting to it, man. There's nothing stopping us. There's nothing, you know what I'm saying? Me and bro been having this conversation about having to sit down, and you know what I'm saying? We here, so that's it.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, so like I said, my name is Steph. I've been doing this for about 5-6 years now. Like I said, I went to Willie P. So I was just checking out your IG page, and I seen a lot of what you've been doing, like around the community stuff. So I don't know if you already talked about that a little bit, but yeah, tell everybody a little bit more about that.
True. So, yeah, we was honestly just really starting to get into it, but I'm an organizer with a Pan-African grassroots organization called Build More Unity. And real quick, because you know what I'm saying, it's not right for us to assume anything. We always lay the foundation. Pan African, Pan principle, you know what I'm saying, something that we abide by as an organization. So that's our primary politic. We a grassroots organization in the sense that like we not like an LLC or a nonprofit, you know what I'm saying? We
Okay.
not government funded. Everything that we do is off the muscle and more importantly off the support for the community.
Word. Okay. How long y'all been doing that for?
This is our third year. We like 3.5 in for real.
And how many people like with you that's doing it?
Oh, we on public, so I ain't gonna release the number of the membership.
Got you.
But
But y'all got a good amount. You got a good amount helping. True.
strong, we active.
So what y'all got coming up that y'all helping out with the community, like, and more particularly, like, what communities y'all helping with? 'Cause I know, like, y'all probably doing it all over. So
True. So we primarily based here in Lenny Lenabe land, colonially known as Jersey City. But our primary relationship with folks we building with is African people, bro.
okay,
New Africans, so quote unquote Black Americans.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But we building with Africans in general. Also building with other colonized people, Asians, people of Latin descent as well. Here in Jersey City, a little bit in Newark, and like kind of into the programs that we getting into. We was talking about this a little bit, but our primary program right now is a survival distribution program. And it was inspired by the Black Panthers who ran survival programs like in full. And the theorization of that, like which was set forth by Dr. Huey P. Newton, is survival pending revolution. So the idea is to go from survival to sustenance onto revolution. So you organize the people around their greater needs. It's something that I had just broke down to bro with.
okay,
Is like I can't build with you. You know what I'm saying? My brother, you Black American.
yep,
So my new African brother, about anything that's gonna get you ready for revolution. If your life ain't right, if your shelter ain't right, if you hungry, you know what I'm saying? So it's part of the organizer's role to introduce, you know what I'm saying, survival programs to meet those needs of survival, housing, survival, food, survival, you know what I'm saying, access to economic and a well-balanced life so you can take care of your family. All that is survival. And if we not helping the people get to those needs, we can't do anything, you know what I'm saying? So that's our foundational program. We looking to get into other stuff. Like for instance, we've been running a community cleanup program for like the past couple years.
word,
Yeah, man, it's been dope. I would say we cleaned up neighborhoods all over the city. We done been downtown too, but we primarily focused on areas that's on the hill for real. And if it's
Okay.
not on the hill, it might like be on West Side or something like that, Midtown. And then if there's a Jackson, like a different part of the neighborhood, we might not go there. But put it like this, we not going to neighborhoods that got the resources that they need. We in neighborhoods that don't got the resources. And while we in those neighborhoods, we not blaming people for their circumstances, but we working with them to build power. Because the goal isn't to just bring a bunch of like conscious people that's like part of an organization to come clean up this neighborhood and then leave. It's to go
Exactly, yeah.
You feel me? It's to go in the trenches, build with the people, you know what I'm saying? Let them know they could be doing this same shit and get them to do it. So that's what we working on, and I'd be lying to you if I said that shit wasn't challenging.
I'm sure.
Niggas to see you cleaning up the neighborhood and be like, it varies, but it could go from, oh, that's hard, but like, you know, that ain't me, to like, oh, I don't give a fuck what y'all niggas is talking about. You know what I'm saying? But you struggle with your people, you know what I mean? You get through that. They ain't about nothing. We understand the illnesses that our people have. We understand the level of unconsciousness that the masses currently has. We also understand, like bro said, life be lifing. You know what I'm saying?
All the time.
Niggas ain't got time to clean up the neighborhood.
Exactly.
You gotta go work.
You gotta pay your rent.
Right?
You didn't think about
You know what
that.
I'm saying? So like all of that, you know, factoring in, that's what we be working on, bro. Just a bunch of different programs to organize people around their needs, things that they want to get into, and you know, to foster overall like a sense of protection, direction, love, you know what I'm saying, self-determination. So we could get ready for, you know what I'm saying, what's coming for real.
So now all these people that you working with, these like, are they throughout New Jersey, New York, all like in just community? Like, how do you find all these? How do you find people you working with?
Yo, honestly, it's like, I guess I could probably relate it to like media and you know what I'm saying, maybe music, because that's something that, you know, my brothers are involved in.
Okay.
Once you tap into whatever the world is, that world, you know what I'm saying? Like once you get in that back door, you realize that everybody already been there, right? So you just tap in, and then you just start meeting comrades from all over the state, and then you like first the pandemic, I don't want to say it helped, but it provided the opportunity for people to be active and more like quote unquote solidarity to be
Mm-hmm.
built, because it's like everybody's outside in their neighborhoods, and our organization Build More Unity, I was telling bro, we was up and down the state, like going to different protests or everywhere, just trying to like connect with different orgs, whether they was new. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people was just like around the time of like the pandemic, that was like the first thing they ever did. But it was like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, they felt that and they wanted to do it, so we was there. We might have went. I can't even count how many protests we went to in like that whole summer, which is classified as like the George Floyd, Breonna Taylor
I
rebellion.
was just about to circle back with I was circle back with that because that, like you said, that's 2020. That was COVID. So
Yeah,
anybody I remember during that time, that was like BLM movement. Like you said, George Floyd. We had it was like multiple police killings during that time. So
multiple.
at this when your group started.
Nah, we was founded in 2019 in
Okay.
April.
Oh, so
Yeah.
just before COVID.
Yeah, so myself and my comrade Khalil,
Mm-hmm.
well, I finished at NJCU. He's a student at NJCU. But
Okay.
the organization was founded on NJCU campus
Mm-hmm.
in April of 2019, and we were originally called Black Men United.
Word. I was
For
gonna
sure.
say,
Early,
not,
bro.
not to cut you off, because when you said build more unity, I'm like, okay, that's not what I first saw though. But I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely was Black Men United, right? I bet.
Yeah.
So that's why when I saw it, I'm like, why don't I know about this? So yeah,
It's,
my bad.
it's more than just men in the party now.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's more than just men in the organization now. So,
Yeah, it should be.
right, you know what I'm saying? We all in this collective struggle together. So we switched the name, kept it rooted in BMU though, because that's what's familiar to, you know what I'm saying, ourselves and the community as well. But yeah, it was Black Men United, April 2019 on NJCU campus. And like, yo, for real, like, it's two sides to like college. Like, it's like black radicals have taught before that colleges are places, you know what I'm saying, where organizers should go, because you got the masses right there in a concentrated area, right, and they facing their own injustices like in a microcosm from administration, you know what I'm saying, whatever they facing in their curriculums. Like, school could be a real oppressive place, so like that's a place that you could organize. But it's like, we wanted to cultivate that space for black males to like get into actual community work. And this was at a time like that was early on, kind of still in like the radicalization of our members. So we wasn't fully there yet, but we knew where we was going. You know what I'm saying? Inshallah, we on our way. So like, it was crazy. The school wasn't trying to let us make the club.
I'm sure.
All it was at the
It's
time.
NBCU, right?
Yeah, they was on some shit like, you can't make a club that's solely for black men. And you got all these type of different identity, like fraternity and sorority organizations.
That's crazy.
But they was at our head tops, my boy. But, you know what I'm saying? Allah provides. Thankfully, that wasn't what we were supposed to do. We wasn't supposed to make a club that was administration funded by the school. Because as soon as we all graduated, that wasn't ours. We had no ownership over that. So we on campus running a community organization that's not sanctioned by the campus, doing programs on campus and off campus.
That's real gangster.
Yeah, they ain't giving us no funding. They ain't trying to give us access to no rooms to do nothing. We meeting outside, like on the grounds, like, but we just thugging it out. You know what I'm saying? We ain't really had too much, but we was trying to figure it out. And we started doing some work. I think we might have had, that was the first year of our cleanup program in 2019, that summer. We started the distribution program around that time. We did a few book bag drives. We was getting into toy drives, and it was early, so it was more isolated events and like not so much consistent programs, which is what we getting into now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was struggling through it, and then we disbanded for like a few months because we was all college students. And it's like, when you in college, like, your life, it fluctuates
all the time.
You know what it is.
Exactly.
The capacity, what you can get into, like, all that changes. So we disbanded a couple months, and then we came back right, like, before the rebellion started, probably like a couple of months before the pandemic even got active. We got back to the work. And thankfully, that was the right time for us to get back to the work, because we needed to be in position to, you know what I'm saying, kind of be in tune with what was going on out here in these streets.
Now, we talked about how you already got started, how you started at NJCU. Now, I don't know about y'all, but have you ever heard about Pan-Africanism? Because I only heard about it a few years ago.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I'm not. I mean, like I said, with bro, a lot of that stuff came out me, but before, nah, not really.
So, my question for you is like, how would you like when you first brought it to people? How did you present it to them? Because maybe they didn't hear it before, maybe they wasn't familiar with it. So how was you able to like tell them about it and be like, oh, like make them interested into come part of the team and help out?
True. So you saying like in the pandemic or in general before
Just
that?
in general, just getting started. Like when you started in April 2019, and like you went to somebody like, oh, Pan Africanism, da da da,
True.
and they like, I never heard about this.
So that's a great question because in April 2019
It wasn't here.
Everybody was Gucci gang.
Yeah.
Gucci gang.
We wasn't like even ourselves like us. We wasn't even Pan Africanists yet. You know what I'm saying? We was conscious. We was reading. We was educating ourselves. We believed in the idea and the politics of Black power, which is Black people taking control of their neighborhoods in an economic sense, in a social, in a political sense, in a psychological sense, in an educational sense, every facet of our neighborhood. So that was something that was rooted in our organization. But Pan Africanism, as we know it, as Kwame Nkrumah and the AAPRP defines it, is the total unification of all Africans under the politics and the principles of scientific socialism. So we wasn't there yet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But we gracefully made our way there, struggling through, educating ourselves as we going along. Because consciousness isn't like you open the door.
Now one thing, it's a process.
Yeah, it's a forever process, and the more you know, to realize the more you don't know. It's funny how it worked out like that. So in the beginning, it was more so less about politics and more rooted in like, let's protect each other. Like, this our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's stick up for each other. Like, let's take care of it. Let's upkeep it. But let's also do things that's built out of love and fun. And let's like counteract some of the issues that we got within our own community that, we might not necessarily be the root causes of, but we still play a role in, continuing and furthering and actualizing, whether it be the trapping of things that's detrimental to people with actual DNA and upkeep, or whether it be the gun violence or the physical violence, or the social neglect. So just trying to counteract that with like programs of love and care, That was kind of like our ideas in the beginning. And then like the pandemic also radicalized us too. And understanding it, like connecting with more people that were more radical than we are, and like politically educated us, and pretty soon we adopted Pan-Africanism like as like our org identity, which is like honestly the vehicle on which we operate, and it helps us determine, like what we do, like what are our boundaries, like what's our moral code, basically.
Okay. I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, but even now, like, we not just about to pull up on like the unconscious masses or like an individual on the street and be like, yo, like we rocking with Pan-Africanism, like you should get with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's that? Like Malcolm taught that you gotta be careful when you try and build with somebody, because like, bro, the enemy, like their propaganda machine, like the poison and the information that they give to us like all the time, that shit is so strong, and we be getting that from birth. It's like the Matrix, bro. Like you try to unplug somebody, like bro, Neo threw up in the room. Like he threw up, bro.
Yeah, it takes a long time to unlearn what you've been learning all your life.
Like, when you become conscious, it's like a little harder now, because now you actually thinking about like what you doing. Like before, you probably
you was unconscious.
It's like
you could have just floated through life, bro. It's a quote for that. James Baldwin,
That's my God.
He said to be black and conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage.
It really is.
Because once you understand,
because like you literally living two lives at that point.
That's what I said to you. So it was like once I understood, I gotta act. Because if I don't act, I never really understood. You know what I'm saying? Like once you understand, it catapults you into action. And if you don't, you're just gonna be dealing with this constant like, damn, I'm not like, but I understand, but I'm not acting. So like, get active. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the only way you could like show like what you learn in your knowledge. If you just if you keep it in and you don't actually act on it, then what are you actually learning?
Right.
So.
And it's also I look at it too like a betrayal in a way, because it's like we at war. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't necessarily look active, but we are in an active and passive and psychological war. So if you understand that as an individual and you're not about to do nothing to like correct that situation and work with others that's correcting that, then you betraying your people.
Yeah, you really are. You're just as bad as everybody else at that point.
Right. You might as well just be unconscious then.
I got a quick question for you. So how is it when you so kind of segue for his question? How is it? This should probably pick me up. But how is it
Okay, so when you bring it to a regular adult, what is it? All right, so the reason why I'm asking this question is because I went to his June 19th. The June 19th, bro did and we can't even, before we even go further, bro did his own thing for June 19th. You get what I'm saying? Had the whole city out, and you get what I'm saying? And we was in Lincoln Park. You get what I'm saying? It was for the right purpose, and it was kids out there. You get what I'm saying? So how is it teaching the kids? Like, what do you get from that when you try to teach the kids your movement and what you got going on?
True, bro.
You got a lighter? You mind if we spark up?
For sure. Truthfully, I might do stuff.
Oh, I bet we got you.
You got a lighter school?
But yeah, that was
True, bro. Definitely gonna get into that. Just real quick with respect to Juneteenth, cause that was you know what I'm saying, a collective effort. Shout out to Legends Only, my bro Tone, my big bro. It's his born day. Happy birthday, bro. Shout out to Triforce Media, my boy Moore. Shout out to Solidarity and Mutual Aid, Jersey City, and all of the organizations, you know what I'm saying, and the individuals that I may not be naming right now that work together to put together that Juneteenth program. And that's our third one, you heard. So, like bro said, we did our own thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to the Juneteenth that happened at Liberty State Park in 2020 and like what came from that, you know what I'm saying? They've been elevating, they've been doing their thing. But we had a Juneteenth program. I'm gonna go back to 2020. We had a Juneteenth
bring it
program
back.
in 2020. We shut down the Ave, you heard?
Word.
From we shut down the Ave from Claremont to Myrtle.
Word.
Whoa.
Bro, I was at work on
Myrtle.
Instagram like,
Oh, wow.
this nigga, Nev, how you? I'm like, yo, Nev, how you?
From
Bro,
Claremont to
girls
Myrtle,
getting their
bro.
hair braided on the Ave.
Oh,
On the
wow.
Ave, you got double dutch
Double
competitions
dutch on the
happening.
Ave,
You got a
bro.
video
Oh,
game truck
yeah,
on the
you-
Ave. You got live grilling, like it's up.
That's necessary. I think. Well, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I want to hear what you guys say about it.
It was a lot to that real quick. That's why I wanted
Yeah.
to double back. Fucking so that's in 2020, right? And this is like I said, this is the summer of the George Floyd rebellion.
Okay.
So it's like I was talking to bro about having like programs or actions or events, and it's like whatever you plan for, you gotta think about like 30% coming. It's called the 1/3 rule. In the pandemic, that didn't exist because everybody was outside. You know what I'm
Everybody
saying?
trying to come outside. They were stuck in for months.
Right, it was a stay-at-home order, so it was like conscious or no conscious. Like, oh, it was a protest. Oh nah, like one of the homies died. Oh nah, like R.P. George Floyd. I'm outside. I'm gonna have my poster. I'm gonna go take a pic. So that was the energy, but it provided an opportunity to like actualize the consciousness of people and to build with them or at least plant seeds. Right. So Juneteenth 2020. I'm working with my boy E, who's now a member of BMU. We working with Tone, Legends Only. So this first event was their idea for the city. They wanted to put this on, everything that was going on. BMU was protesting.
Now, that's the Juneteenth you're talking about, right? In 2020?
Juneteenth 2020.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. My guys, who I just named, they wanted to put this together. So they reached out to probably like a good like 10 folks, you know what I'm saying? Quad Creative Kids, a couple different folks tapped in. Jersey City Anti-Violence Coalition, Solidarity and Mutual Aid Jersey City 2, I believe. We all tapped in BMU 2 as well. And we was building. So put the event together 10 days. 10 days. At least 500, 600 people on the Ave. Up, super up. Vendors, everything. I think Banana King Pudding was out there too. Like it was up. Like I'll probably show you videos after we build it. Like you could really like.
Yeah,
see
doing
what
that. I want to hear more. How you do that in 10 days? Because I know what goes into an event. So to get vendors, the block cut off, all that in 10 days, like.
Peep what happened with the block cut off, but it was a whole team. You get
Okay.
me? So it's like 10 days, 10 people plus strong. Everybody got objectives. You know what I'm saying? We all got roles. Our communication is locked in. We meeting all the time. Like it's smooth for us. You know what I'm saying? We all making it happen, and it's night and day though too. You planning events. You wake up in the morning, you got to call. 2 hours later, you got to call. You got to email somebody about this. You got to try to get the clearance for this. You got to make sure you pick up these resources. So we just thugged it out, and
That shit a little tight.
it's gonna get there though.
Came out back. I was rushing.
It's gonna get there though. When it's tight, it get to that point where it open up. And that shit. You know what I'm saying? Patience. It's like, so it was that, and like we get to the day of. You feel me, Steph? We get to the day of. And you know what I'm saying, credit to my guy E, you know what I'm saying, he good like with the logistics and everything, like he's smooth with that because he done had like employment opportunities that done gave him those skills. So he knew everything to do. Like, you know, you having an event, you need the health department, you need all that, and then it's the pandemic, you need all of that. You need if you blocking off streets, you need permits, you need all of that. So he got all of that right. It was all situated. The event was supposed to start at 12. Yo, at 10, like, it might have been at 10:30 or 9:30 in the morning, they pulled the health department and pulled the security permits. So we had no legal right to be outside. Wow. Had 500 plus people planning to come outside on the Ave in a couple of hours.
You was no way they were stopping that.
There's no way.
So it's like, but it's all happening. So we like, yo, what the fuck we gonna do? And it's like, with me, man, it's dialectic. So it go up and down, but like, I got like a fire. And when some shit like that happen, I'm on some shit like, nah, fuck that. We gonna do that shit anyway. Like, we gonna have the people outside. Like, what the fuck they gonna do? They can't stop us. They gonna bring tanks out. Like, we outside. We taking over the blocks. So we bought cones, blocked the streets off ourselves. We had the organization deep out there that day. It might have been like, and we was still Black Men United at the time. So it might have been like 10, 11 strong brothers. And we outside, you know what I'm saying? We got the streets blocked off from Myrtle to Claremont. Police pull up. Probably 10 blue suits. So they coming like from Boswick, like towards Myrtle, and like we meet them because the people like centralized, like it's blocked off on Myrtle, but the people centralized like on Grant down because our boy Steph is cooking right there. So they like there and they like there. So when they coming from Boswick, it's not alarming the people yet. So we making the observations and we go meet them right there before they pull up and demoralize the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So like at the time, I don't even care about talking about this now because so much shit that happened since then. Like I already know, like it's whatever they gonna do. Like we gonna up the score. So they pulled up, we pull up, and they like, oh, like, do y'all got a permit to do this? So, you know what I'm saying? E out there, we all out there, we getting into it, like, we going back and forth with them, because they pulled our shit. So then you gonna come, ask us, do we got the permit when you just pulled our shit?
No, you don't got the permit, so they trying to set you up.
Right. So, like, what we really talk about here, you know what I'm saying? Now we having a strong on competition with our biceps out. Like, what's going on? So, we chopping it up. And at the time, here, broski. A lot of good shit going on, man. All power to the people. At the time, like as an organizer in the community, I was like, just, hey, bro, you got some water? Bless me with an air sip or something.
I can try to. Let me see.
Not bad, we got you talking in here.
Chatting.
You want to pour a little bit of that juice in there?
Yeah, that's gonna rock me. Just to hydrate, bro. Good looking. Word up.
I need water now. Water time. It's on 28%.
Good looking, bro.
That's good?
Yeah, that's valid, bro. Word up. So, yeah, I'm saying at the time, I was starting to build up political connects or whatever the case may be. People that, you know what I'm saying, you know, you can't necessarily trust with a yardstick, but you can hit up, and like at the time, with everything that was going on, it was like people was on eggshells because it's like, yo, you know, 500 plus people outside. That could either be a block party or that could be a riot. That's
Especially
power.
at that time,
Right.
so they didn't know.
The blink of an eye, that's power. So it's like people was a little bit more liable to do things they might have wouldn't do if they had the upper hand. It's all about leverage. You know what I'm saying? So I had the public safety director, like direct line at the time. So this is like, you go through like the police departments, the fire departments or whatever. This is like the boss of like all that, like the public safety, like both of those departments. So I had his direct line and I pulled the card, like I hit him. I'm talking to the op like in front of my face. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna just call your boss. And he like, oh nah, my captain's on the way. And I'm like, nah,
your boss is boss.
What the fuck is you talking about? So I call his boss and I'm talking to him on the phone. And mind you, like bro, we in the heat of the, I'm laying it on him.
Mhm.
Like, this is what's going on. Like, what's the meaning of this? You know what I'm saying? So he give him the phone. Within 5 minutes, 8 of them is gone.
Mm.
He there within 20.
Into the blue suits.
8 of the blue suits. Gone.
Damn.
5 minutes, both of Wallahi, bro. 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 of them gone. 2 of them stayed to receive him.
Mhm.
So he get there, and me and him have a chat. And now he understand that this isn't stopping, so we negotiating time now. And he like, yo, you think it can be done at 5? And I'm like, well, the flyer says 6. You know what I'm saying? We gonna need to break down. It's not gonna end. We notorious for not ending on time. So you might have to push that. Laying it on him, bro. Laying it on him, bro. I promise you, bro. So I'm like, yo, we might need at least till 7 to stop the event. Then we gotta break down. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everybody can home safely. Probably 9 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? But everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be good. And he like, all right, listen. I'm gonna leave these guys with you. You know what I'm saying? I see you guys blocked off the streets, and we're already here, so we're here. This is him laying it on me. I'm like, all right, cool. You're gonna leave them here. They're gonna be here, whatever. Leave the streets blocked off. They, instead of the cones being there, they take control of directing traffic. Because when I promise you, bro, like, we on the Ave, so it's like buses is coming.
I'm about to say, what is with 87?
Bro, it gotta be footage of that somewhere, bro. But we on Claremont, like, sending the bus down Claremont. Like, you can't come, like, you feel me? And, like, niggas is turning, because it's like, you look down.
What you gonna do?
Like, what you gonna do? Yeah. So it's like, they took over all that. And the event just, man, like bro said, get to the joy, you know what I'm saying? Enough of the resistance, get to the joy. It was everything out there, bro. It was so much happiness. It was dancing. It was face painting. They had box breeders. That was something. That was a little
so
jiggy.
Fire, bro.
That was jiggy.
Shout out to Rayada. Rayada was one of the girls out there braided.
That's a fact.
Word.
That's a fact. It was everything going out there. It was recreation for the kids. Like I said, Quad Creative Kids was out there with a bunch of different tables.
Shout out to Quad Creative.
Word. Gotta Go Gaming was out there. Shout out to John Robinson. Mad food, mad vibes going on, and we kicked it all day till we felt like leaving. You feel me?
So the one you had this year, this year, was it easier to put it together?
Peep game though. We can't go to that one until we go to the one that happened last year, because that was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, then we did 2020 we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
we consistent. So now we in 2021.
Wait, hold on. So before we go there, just real quick, in 2019, that was 2020.
2020.
How was
that
it?
was the first one.
What was it like dealing with the kids? Just real quick, just touch on that real quick. Then we move on to the next one. Or was it any involvement with kids?
Nah, it was mad kids there. If it was 500, 600 people there, it was probably like maybe like 50, 60 children, like actual children. And honestly, I can't speak for that. I ain't had nothing to do with that. Like, Quad was there, Gotta Go Gaming was there. There was volunteers specifically to facilitate that recreation. Like, I low key was on like, all right, we good. Like, I was in that mode, so I know the babies. Like, I wasn't. That was like, I wasn't in that. But I know the babies was good though, because when I look back, like, the babies had fun. They had a dance contest. If you from the town, like, niggas know Phil, the dancer. Phil was out there activating the babies. He was out there activating. Shout out to Phil for real. He was out there activating the babies. Midnight was out there. It was up.
Alright, bet.
So go to 2021. Oh man, they get back on us. You heard? They not feeling that. And look, let's put it in its proper context. We out of the George Floyd rebellion now, so now we can't guarantee that 500-600 people gonna pull up, because people ain't in that mode no more. And then you got the Juneteenth that happened down Liberty State Park, and it happened the same year, but like, we still had what we had going on. They had what we had going on, and a lot of people ended up like leaving our event at some point later on, like once we were closing up, to go down there. Some of our members there too, you know what I'm saying? They had a little vibe going on. In 2021, like, our numbers were a little smaller, and they was also boxing us in. So they was giving us mad red tape, trying to secure a space, wasn't trying to let us be nowhere. So we eventually end up in the Jackson Hill pop-up shop. Yeah, right there on the Ave. Still wanted to be on the Ave.
You know what that's at?
that's like on Orient, right?
Yeah,
Right
there.
I know you.
That
Like Dunkin'
little
Donuts.
box. Mind you, we just had 500 people on the Ave.
That only feel like 150, 20 people.
If that.
We had maybe like 80 people throughout the whole day, bro. But they boxed us in.
Yeah.
that was all we could do. And shout out to Maul and Triforce Media for even getting us in there because they had a studio in there at the time.
Okay.
They was able to finesse. But bro Atno, you know what I'm saying? Peace to him. And sold Black Panther legacy items and talked to the people about what was going on. We had a lot of different vendors. There was still recreation for the kids. We still had great food. But they boxed us in. And they even pulled up on us at 11 a.m. and put a streetcar right there on the sidewalk and just kind of killed the vibe a little early on. You know what I'm saying? But they had to get their lick back because like we went up top the year before.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, so that's how like last year functioned, and it was still a vibe.
So now this year, Juneteenth's actually a holiday this year. So how was it this year?
This year, same team, same core team, Triforce Media, Legends Only, Build More Unity. We got together probably like maybe a fish because you know how it be, bro. Like you touch base 3 months out, like all right, we gonna get it in. You know what I'm saying? Life be happening, and then like it was like 30 days, and we was like, yo, we gotta get it in. Like
The pressure was on now.
30 days, we like, yo, we gotta get it in. So it's like we get to that everyday point, like how we was in that 10 days. It's like, yo, we got a meeting every day. There's different objectives that got to get done every day, all of the back end stuff, and we got to secure the space. We, at the time, I ain't even, you know what I'm saying, we moved correctly. I ain't going to drop the connect that had to connect for the space, but the connect had to connect for the space, and we got it in Lincoln Park.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it in Lincoln Park, and it was over the city's head because Lincoln Park is a county park. We ain't really got too much beef with. I mean, all opposition. You know what I'm saying? Because all is putting situations in place to oppress our people. But in terms of like us in the city, bro, like Philip don't like us. Like the city, like they know us like by name and face, and they don't rock with us as an organization.
Okay.
So anything they can do to, you know what I'm saying,
To limit that.
they doing that. So over their heads to the county. We ain't really on the county radar yet. You know what I'm saying? So they give us the space. We got the space. Give us the stage. We start locking our DJs in. Everything coming together. You know what I'm saying? And we put it together. We had the programs out there. Had moves for the kids out there. We had Jump for Jerry. If anybody not familiar with that, there was a Jeremiah Grant, I believe his name is. He was shot and killed. And this recreational program was started in his name.
Word.
It's a gymnastics, more so specifically double dutch team, which split up into 2 teams, I believe. But they nationally known and they compete in different states across the country, and like they be getting it in, like really getting it in. Like
I witnessed it when I was there. They nice.
yeah, they nice. They was getting it in. We had the gaming truck out there again. They came through. The DJs was lit. The food was a little late that day. We gonna apologize for that again because I know a lot of people was hungry. But the food was lit. We had different vendors, and it was a vibe. I would say in between 2020 and like 2021 on population, but more so leaning towards 2020 than 2021. I'd say it's probably like 200, like maybe 300 people that pulled up that day.
That's a nice sized crowd.
Yeah, it was the
It was
truth.
definitely.
Yeah, that's a nice sized
At
crowd.
least 300 people out there.
Yeah, it was the truth, yo. And everybody that we had built with, like, had a great time. And it was crazy because it was like, people was like, oh, so, like, this is what y'all, like, finna be doing. Like, it felt like a more, like, in 2020, it was a great time. But it was, like, almost the people that understand that, like, yo, this is something permanent that we try and do. You know what I'm saying? And, like, with this one, it felt like we had enough time, probably with the stage and like amplify sound to like really talk to the people and like kind of get into some of the politics and like how we trying to move like as like a community and like yo like we gonna be back next year type shit. And I feel like the people at large really received that this year.
I was gonna say like when you say to 2020 when you I about to say for Jackson, for people that's watching on Jackson Avenue in Jersey City, for a lot of people that grew up in Jersey City back in like early 2000s and 90s, that's probably reminiscent a lot of the Martin Luther King Day Parade, because that was like during the springtime, that was like right before the summertime, and it sounds a lot like what the parade was. And I feel like probably the city now, like the way it done changed, they, you know, that's forgotten about now. And people that do know about it, they don't want to go back to that because they know what happened after the parade. Right. So they're afraid to do anything on Jackson. But I feel like Exactly, but I feel like doing that right there on the Ave, like you said, for the community right there on the hill. I feel like that's really that camaraderie that like the city needs,
Nah, for real.
especially for that holiday. So yeah, that's amazing right there.
Yo, it's something so beautiful when you can bring the city out and there's no violence.
Hmm.
You got people coming from different neighborhoods, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we know violence goes on,
Hmm.
bro. We know violence gonna go on after the event, before
Hmm.
the event, while the event going on somewhere
Exactly.
else, right?
That's life.
It's life. If we can step in this space though, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, and we can build, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, then all you gotta do is expand that space. You know what I'm saying? What you created there,
Hmm.
you can duplicate that, you can replicate that. You know what I'm saying? That's authentic energy. You can produce that again and enlarge that. So eventually that overtakes the community, and we live inside that bubble. There's no violence in here. You know
No
what I'm saying?
word. Exactly. Nah. So you feel like you think y'all gonna do something like maybe like toward the holiday, maybe like a giveaway for Thanksgiving or like a Christmas, like something similar to that. I mean, obviously you can't do it outside in cold, but you know,
I mean, we had like toy drives the past few years.
word.
We yeah, but it's like it's a lot of people doing that stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying?
oversaturated. You feel?
Yeah, and it's like we be trying to like think about like what people really need or like what we could bring that's
Hmm.
also gonna like help people raise their consciousness. It's
Hmm.
like we could put a bunch of resources together and give out a bunch of toys, but like that's the city responsibility.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They got the millions. They supposed to put that shit together. So like they put that shit together and like we do things that like we could mix the Pan Africanism in.
Hmm.
You feel me? So but we are gonna hold like a big Friendsgiving event, and
Hmm.
we work right now with a food rescue nonprofit called Salt Foundation. Shout out to Salt, shout out to Miss Wheeler, all family, and basically with this food rescue co-op, it's partnerships with like different distributors like Trader Joe's,
Hmm.
Wegmans, Walmart, like different spots, and you know what I'm saying. They giving us food for free. Like any type of pickup could go from like 500 to like 1,000 pounds of food, like ranging from produce to dairy to fruit to bread, like all of the necessities of the food pyramid type shit. And we there's community fridges if
Hmm.
anybody not
Yes, I'm
familiar with
familiar
them.
with those. Yeah. That.
Word. So they now to the audience though, like if anybody
Mm.
not familiar with the fridges
Yeah, where they at?
in the city, for sure is one on. It's called the West Side Community Fridge, but it's off Duncan in Delaware. So if you coming down Duncan from West Side, you bust the first right onto Delaware, and it's down that dead end block. It's one in the Heights by I think that park is North Street Park, but it's off of North and Webster. Those intersecting streets is right there, and then there's one. It's called the Greenville Fridge. It's up top on Rose, off of Rose and McAdoo type shit in between McAdoo and Water. So those were the three fridges at. Inshallah, there's gonna be more fridges in the city, cause we living in a food desert, a food apartheid. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Tell more people about the food on the fridges, because I know a lot of people don't really know about that. I just got
True.
yeah.
So the West Side Fridge was first. Shout out to Tatiana. She laid the foundation. Like,
So what, they put food in there, or like people come and put food in there? How that
oh, you
work?
say
Hmm.
absolute. So it's like, yo, it's take what you can, give what you need type vibe. So the fridge is power on electricity, is running 24/7, and you can just go up and go get a meal or go get
Hmm.
some resources or whatever, and
Or
you
go drop some in there.
or go drop some in there. You know what I'm saying? And it's for the community, by the community. Like anybody have access to do it. Right now, from like our observations, it seems to be running like from like a main source by like organizations and nonprofits.
Hmm.
And I see that the prosecutor office also donates to the community fridges. You know, like
Nice. Okay.
what happens happens, right?
Mhm.
But it seemed to be running like that. Which is good. What also should be happening though is like we should be getting everyday individuals to be interacting with these fridges on a give what you like, give what you can and take what you need basis. But we working our way there. You know what I'm saying? So our involvement with the fridges is real heavy through Salt that we work with. So we fill the fridges up 3 times a week. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday,
Okay.
through our partnership that we have with one of our distributors that I had just named before.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a lot of people in these neighborhoods where the fridges are that are already aware of the fridges and are already utilizing these fridges. So if we fill it up, let's say around like maybe 5 or 6 o'clock, it's gonna be empty by like 7 or 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? On that day. The same for like any other pickup that's probably happening, but like that's what's happening with the community fridges. Damn, low key, cause I forgot where I was going with the fridges specifically. I was explaining it to you, but what was that?
So we were saying like how it benefits the community and like what we were talking about the SALT program and how you work with Trader Joe's, Wegmans, Walmart, and
Right.
how y'all starting to try to do a lot of things for the community, things like that.
Yeah, pretty much just letting people know that they could, you know what I'm saying? The three
Mm-hmm.
locations, they can
I
easily
just feel
fill
like I
it.
had a greater point with that I
We'll
wasn't
circle
prepared.
back to it. We'll come back to it. We ain't
100%,
gonna leave this topic right now. We can go
Yeah.
circle back to it, but
I hit the gas 2 times.
but nah, I feel like that community fridge, and I feel like a lot of
That
things
shit's
like
fire.
that. Like you said, a lot of people do face like the food insecurity, and like a lot of people don't want to go to like a food a pantry or do all these things. So just going to a fridge where it's like you just go in, get what you got to get, and go. I feel like that's an amazing thing.
Right.
I did have another question though for you. Yo, so with all the work that you all putting in, was there somebody in your family from the past that you know what I'm saying that did the same type of work, or are you kind of the first of your family generation to be taking on this type of work?
Uh, wow. Yeah, that's a great question, yo. Because it's like it's a little bit, but it's like nah at the same time. But yeah, so like my older brother, my mother's first son. You know what I'm saying? The patriarch of my generation. He was always like in tune. You know what I'm saying? He was always like a social justice advocate. You know what I'm saying? But he started out as like not being in tune with the town. Like he was in tune with what was going on with the country. Like he was always supporting the at least what was going on like inside of the BLM movement. Cause we gotta make the difference between like Black Lives Matter, like the movement, Black Lives Matter, the organization that's stealing money from the people. You know what I'm saying? But Big Bro was always in tune. You know what I'm saying? And he was like helping me to he like he was in my ear as I was like he definitely played a part in like that development of the consciousness, just throwing seeds at me. Like if I could look back, he was always in tune, and then I helped him to like understand that like you know what I'm saying, we got to be in tune with what's going on in the nation, but like we got to get active where we at. You know what I'm saying? And like contribute to our struggle right here so that we could get with the people that's in the nation so we could get to it. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise we inactive. So like now we kind of like operate like in this full circle lens because like he kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I think that like we helping to politicize, like we as the organization helping to politicize him a little bit, but he kind of operates like in that nonprofit like industrial complex type, like, you know what I'm saying, get government funding, like address issues, you know what I'm saying, and real like do good work, do great work, but like not necessarily like setting black people up to like be for themselves.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Still operating under this system that's like got their foot on our neck. But he was like real instrumental. And then my pops passed before like I was born. Like he was killed like 2 months before I was born. So like my whole life I've been like trying like know and understand my dad more to like know myself. And it's like I had to realize that people only like gonna tell me about my dad from like what they knew my dad as, like whatever relationship they had with him, like whether they knew like, you know what I'm saying, how he was moving in the streets or like whether they knew how he was moving in the crib or whatever the case may be. So I realized that like when I was young I would take everything that somebody said like at immediate face value for like whatever the case is. But the older I got I realized that I had to take what was said, take what I understand internally, and like help that shape my perspective of him. You know what I'm saying? For like his short life, he was only 25 when he was killed. But somebody that he grew up with, that spent some time down or whatever the case may be, I was like they came home and now they've been doing like great work in the community. Like they've been really putting in pain, and I knew them because I knew they knew my pops and they
Mm-hmm.
was from my hood. You know what I'm saying? And I also knew them before they had went down, but I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So now we in the same spaces and shit. Like we in like different programs and stuff like that. And they know me as like Nev, as like out here, but they don't know that like man, they used to be in my grandmother's house eating bowls of cereal,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's my grandmother. So we at Audubon Park, and I'm like, yo, you don't know who I am, like, and he like at this point, I approached him like that, so he done took off like the whole like the political jacket I
Yeah.
call it niggas be wearing out here, and he like, fuck you mean? Like I don't know who you is. Like who you? And I'm like, yo, I'm fire, son. Like you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like I'm Dawn, son. And like, yo, bruh started crying. Like we had a whole like intimate conversation, and like I say that to say one of the things he gave me was that yo, like I'm just like my pops in the sense that like we had different lanes and he might have like played the streets, but he was militant.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like he had discipline, like he knew how to organize people, you know what I'm saying? And those were his characteristics. And like I have similar characteristics. So it was something that like made me realize that like I'm like I get that from my pops, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking in like a foundation that my pops could have been walking in, but it might not have been ready for that generation. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like he might have been supposed to pass those traits down to me for me to do this work. So it's just reaffirming like God's purpose, bro. But I would definitely say those was probably two really influential like people that wasn't doing the work, but like laid the foundation.
That definitely sounds like a full circle moment, like you said, for you. Like it reaffirmed, like made like it told you like no, you're doing the right thing, like you on the right path.
Went
Like
home and cried, man.
yeah, that's touching. That even hit me a
100.
little bit. So we already know where. So now we know where you got the characteristics from. We know where it came from. We know where how you got that. But how did you get into Pan Africanism? Like what strike that? What put that interest into you? Like how did you get into that?
So like I guess like my shift of consciousness, like and I was telling bro earlier a little bit, it happened with my big brother passed, my father's son.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was something in my family. Well, it's all systemic, you know what I'm saying? We all facing these same like systematic levels of oppression. But my grandfather was murdered, my dad was murdered, and then my brother was murdered, all down the same line.
Damn. Sorry.
All
Okay.
yeah, bro. May they all rest in peace, bro, and may Allah make their grave spacious. He passed, and he was like my dad. You know what I'm saying? In the
Mm-hmm.
sense that like he was my role model, like he was my big bro. He looked out for me, like he showed me the way coming up, and like he did what he could to like keep me away from things that he did because he knew, I guess, that that wasn't for me. So like my appreciation for him is always of the utmost high regard. His passion like really shook me in terms of like the pain that I was dealing with, and like I ain't really have no place to put it. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, bro, I ain't have access to therapy. Like we dealing with some traumatic shit like that. Like, bro, I'll take you back to like when he was shot. He spent a week in the ICU, and like I couldn't see him because like we ain't got the same last name, and like they was only letting like my sister and like his mother, and we got different
And
mothers.
now, how old were you at this time? Just to put into context for everybody.
This time I'm 20.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, this happened after my birthday. No, I'm 20. Yeah, I'm 20. So we like the general family, I guess, even though this is my brother, we
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see him until a week later.
Mm-hmm.
And the day that we allowed to see him is the day that like all his organs start failing and he died. So like yeah, we get like a couple hours with bro, you know what I'm saying? And then bro passed, and then like I just was so open, bruh. Like at that point in time, like I just had so much pain. I was so open, and like I don't know, I found like my place, bruh, and like this work, and like I was able to make the connection between his death, the cousins that I had lost growing up, like my pops, and like, bruh, this shit is by design, bruh. You know what I'm saying? They killing us so many different ways, and like that pain, I was able to like turn that into anger, and that
Mm-hmm.
anger turned into focus
Mm-hmm.
and determination. So, bro, I just started reading. You heard, and before I started reading, I was on YouTube heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, anybody could go on YouTube. You know
YouTube
what I'm
University.
saying? Word. Make sure you know what you're looking for, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. But you could go on YouTube. You could go pull up a Malcolm X speech. You could go watch Fannie Lou Hamer. You should even go watch Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King had a journey that they don't talk about. They just teach you that turn the other cheek, Martin. But before Martin died, he was telling niggas that we was coming to get our check. Like, Martin was heavy on reparations. He was heavy on anti-war. Like, Martin got solid for real. You know what I'm saying? So, like, watch Martin on YouTube, watch Malcolm on YouTube. You can watch Black Panther documentaries. Like, it's so much stuff you could get into. So I went down that hole, and this is like months. Like, I'm down it. I started reading James Baldwin. I started getting into the writers. I started reading Toni Morrison. And, like, I'm just discovering this whole world of, like, black radicalism and, like, resistance to this. So it's like, at first I understood the oppression. And then I understood the oppression, I understood the resistance. Like, you can't understand one without the other, because if you just understand everything they did to us, then it's going to make you feel weak. You got to understand that everything we do in the fight and everything we've been doing, like, from now, like, back to the Haitian Revolution. You see what I'm saying? So I got into all of that, and, like I told bro, once I got into that, it was like, yo, I got to move. You know what I'm saying? If I don't move, I'm betraying my people.
Learning about all of that, and then, like you said, going back to the civil rights era, how do you feel about integration? Do you feel like that failed us? Do you feel like segregation was?
He got straight into it.
You feel like segregation was better for us, or do you feel like?
Yo, it's complex, man. It's like, I ain't gonna hold you. And, like,
Personal opinion. I just asked the question.
nah, true, because it's deep, bro. Because segregation wasn't just segregation. Segregation was segregation with, like, the Ku Klux Klan, with the lynching, you know what I'm saying? And it was separate but unequal, even though they said it was separate but equal.
It wasn't.
So I believe that separation could and should work, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, like, a preservation of our people from the war that we facing. But if it's separate in the sense that we still getting our resources from them and they giving us the crumbs, nah, that couldn't work for us. It didn't work for us. You know what I'm saying? There were certain elements that, like, we had then that we had to out of survival that we don't have now because we integrated, like farmland. Like, I would say 90% of farmland you could probably look up is, like, gone in terms of, like, black ownership. Black home ownership was something that was more prioritized, but also redlining came after that as well. And, like, there was more probably of a preservation for communities because we was really all we had. You know what I'm saying? We was stuck together, so we had to preserve. And that's, like, a culture I feel like that's been lost with integration. But it's not just integration. It's their propaganda and everything that they do on top of that. But it's like, and I'm not, you know what I'm saying, anti-white or, like, anti-anybody or anything like that. I'm pro-African.
You pro-black? Yeah.
Pro-African. Like, all African peoples, you know what I'm saying? Like, Afro-Latin, Afro-Asian. Like, if you were descendant of African people, I'm rocking with you. And if you facing, like, the evils of capitalism and white supremacy, I'm rocking with you too. You know what I'm saying? I'm just rocking with Africans first. Because it's like sometimes we be in situations where, like, some communities be putting themselves over other communities. And it's like, I believe you can't, like, go anywhere if you don't get right with your own niggas first. Like, go get all this right, and then we can get right. You feel me?
How you feel about politics today?
Shit. I feel like we living in politics. I feel like everything is politics. I try not to, like have too much of an opinion on, like, politics in terms of like electoralism, which is what I call it specifically. So, like
as far as, like, the electoral college, or like
as far like electoralism in a sense, as far as, like, Democrats, Republicans,
got it,
political offices,
got it.
But, like, what we like doing right here is politics. You know what I'm saying? We sitting and we talking about all of the politics of, like, our people. So, like, that's the politics I tend to kick it with. But in terms of the politics that they got going on, that whole shit is a sham, bruh. The Republican is the same as the motherfucking Democrat. The motherfucking Democrat is the same as the Republican. And if we look back, like, 60, like, maybe 60, 50, like 60, 70 years, the shit was flip-flop. And the motherfucking Democrats was the Dixiecrats. Those was the niggas that was the Ku Klux Klan. And they was calling the Republicans the radical Republicans. And those was the niggas that was, quote unquote, for black people. So, like, they just playing with that shit, bro. Julius Nyerere said, like, the U.S. doesn't have a two-party system. It has one party. You know what I'm saying? And, like, that's how that whole shit operates. They just, like battle each other symbolically for show to make us think that like we owe one of them our loyalty. Like the nigga Joe Biden with the student loan shit. Before he even hopped in office, he said what? He was going to cancel them shits. All them shits was going to be going for us. He get in office, he like, alright, I'm going to cancel 50K. Couple months go by, he like, alright, I'm going to cancel 30K or whatever. Now he like, alright, I'm going to cancel 10K and I'm going to really do it. Like, bro, we ain't got no power.
What is 10K? That's one semester for me.
We ain't got no power, so we can't go get it. You know what I'm saying? He can tell us whatever the fuck we want because we already voted for him.
Exactly. Yeah, now.
You feel me? So it's like they can do whatever they want for us because we ain't got no political power of our own. Malcolm X said that we should stop allowing ourselves to be political chumps and voting for whoever they tell us to vote for. But what we should really do is organize our people. And if we even want to get into that vote and shit, we can demand what we want for our communities and withhold our vote, bro. You realize that every time, like, it's election time, you got, like, and this is our old people, too, bro. You got black elders, black Democrats, black liberals, and everything, and just vote or die, vote or die, vote or die. Like, nah, bro, not vote or die. We voting for what we need. And if it's not there, then we not voting, bro. We gonna keep giving ourselves what we need.
I don't know if y'all paid attention, but me personally, I feel like with this last election, I mean, I feel like that with every election, but I feel like this last election, I feel like the black vote was like, it was heavy. Like, I feel like they was pandering like us heavy. Like, they, like, whatever they had to say, we gonna give you your 40 acres and a mule, like, please just come out and vote. And that just shows you, like, how important our vote is. But like you said, like, they want our vote, but where's our vote going? Our vote is just getting you in office, but how is you helping us? And I feel like a lot of people even say that with Obama. Like, we got Obama in office for 2 terms, but then people come back and say, well, what did he do for us? I mean, and I'm the type of person, I feel like no president gonna really help you particularly. But I mean, if you go down like laws he passed, and probably even with Biden, I feel like it probably wasn't too much anything for the African American community. Do you feel the same way, or how you feel about that?
True, yo. You said it for real, yo. I go to Obama first. It's not even like only what they don't do for us is what they do against us. You know what I'm saying? Like, the U.S. is actively working against our people to keep our people subjugated. You know what I'm saying? So Obama, like, and it's something that we don't pay attention to, but we should. What happens internationally, bro? Obama was used as a black face to create more oppression on the continent of Africa, to start more wars in the Middle East, but to look like a Democrat that's presenting change. Obama's also the same dude that when Freddie Gray got killed over there and they put that knee in his back and people was out there protesting, he called them thugs. He also the same dude that went to Flint, Michigan, knowing that there was a lead crisis, and drunk some fake water and said that their water was good. You feel me? So him, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's an active agent of white supremacy. Joe Biden is also an active agent of white supremacy. And it's like, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to watch this that might not, like, want to get into Obama because, like, people be so caught up, like, on, like, the skin folk thing, where, like, all skin folk ain't kin folk. And, like, a lot of people was bought out, unfortunately. So I'll use Joe Biden, which is somebody that's, you know what I'm saying, like, not an African, and, like, people should be able to be more easily perceptive of, like, how he moved. Before he came on this Democrat vibe that he on right now, like Uncle Joe, like vice president to Obama, he was a segregationist. You know what I'm saying? He was a racist. Like, Joe Biden's whole political career has basically been like a Trump, like 0.0, like before Trump. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could go down his whole line, and it's like, we have no power, so people, like, and there's also not an eagerness to study history, so people just don't know that or don't have access to that. And he's able to present, like, I'm this person. It'd be like that. It'd be like that. Like, I'm this person, I'm that person. And then he even went on camera and said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that too.
But Joe Biden voted against busing desegregation in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? Like, Joe Biden was the one that introduced the crime bill in the 1990s. And, like, bro, it's like, with white supremacy and, like, the U.S. government and crime, like, crime is just a key word for racism. Because, like, those of us know crime comes from, like,
just
social conditions. Right. It comes from social conditions, bro. Like, when you don't got no resources, primarily you got to operate out of starvation and survival mode. So like address the lack of resources. Don't just throw more police in the community. You know what I'm saying? So that was his whole MO in the 90s, bro. And he built like other people built it with him, but like he helped create this personification of like the black criminal. You know what I'm saying? Which like justifies mass incarceration as we know it today, bro. Like if you look at our community, we 13% of the population, or so they say, but like we damn near 40% of the prison population. Like even more exacerbated with black males, like being like 6% of the population, being like 30% of the prison population.
And I'm gonna stop you right there because I actually have a good point I want to bring up. I actually checked out your op-ed with about Kamala Harris, and we all. I mean, if you were familiar with,
damn, you tapped into that. I went in on it.
you definitely did. You definitely brought some facts. And if you're familiar with Kamala Harris, when she was the district attorney in California, she didn't have a good track record there, you know, and her tune definitely have changed a lot since she became the vice president now. So how do you feel about Vice President Kamala Harris and how she changed from when she was a DA in California to now what she is now?
I don't even think she changed, bro. I think it's like with politics, like people put on faces. You know what I'm saying? And whatever face is more conducive to the position they in, that's how they gonna operate. Like she classified herself as the top cop of the state of California. I still think she's that individual. I just think that Joe Biden needed her because he needed a black individual to appeal to the black masses. So what she do? She put on her black woman hat. You know what I'm saying? And then she played that role. But she's still Kamala Harris, bro. She's still a top cop of the United States now. Or at least the second cop of the United States. Joe Biden is the primary cop of the United States. They all pigs. That's how I feel about her. I don't even want to rant on her too long.
Okay, well let's bring it back more locally now because I know you had mentioned earlier about like just throwing more cops in the community. So us being in Jersey City, we all know going up and down Jackson, they all on the cops on every corner. And I mean, if you never been in Jersey City, trust me, go down Jackson Avenue, 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. on every corner. And I mean, I guess, and you know, the theory of that being safe, that keep the community safe. I mean, I guess that's nice, but I mean, we all know, we live in the same area. They just there for decoration. How you feel about that? What's your take on that?
It's like they there, but like people still getting shot like right where they at. You know what I'm saying? And like, bro, police, like as a root, like they not crime stoppers. You know what I'm saying? Like we could like aside from like what black radicalism understands police to be as like an oppressive force of like the community and like deriving from actual slave patrols. Like it went from slave patrols to police. Like police in the sense of even what they operating in, they don't stop crime, they respond to it. So it's like, why do we only have one element that we pour into like on a national level or a city level to stop crime? Police. More police. Police, like you said, sit on the Ave. Like people still getting shot. It's still being detrimental harm that's happening to our community all day, and they not stopping none of that. So they sitting there to act like they stopping that, and they also sitting there to keep our people down. Like, why don't we have therapists on the corner? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you make it easy for me. So how? And that's another thing I want to get into because, like you said after everything with your brother, you passing to your brother, and your mental health, and now starting BMU, how would you say like, how do you introduce therapy to somebody that may like to somebody that come into your group and just maybe they're just going through traumatic experiences and that's all they just need. They just need therapy. They not crazy. There's nothing wrong with them. They just need mental help. So how do you bridge that gap to help people that may need to just, you know, heal from that trauma and grow to be conscious and helping their community?
True. I think, cause you know, like we gotta be conscious of the fact that like therapy isn't even accessible to everybody. Cause you know, like to heal, you need finances. Unfortunately, in this capitalist world we live in, but there are ways of self healing, and like I believe one of those ways is building a community that you know people can have open door communication in, that people can you know be vulnerable around, and like we can build with each other. So like if something is weighing on my comrade, like they know they can talk to me, and I know vice versa. And creating a space like that will really help people to open up things that they have bottled up because they realize on their day to day, like they can actually get into the things on their day to day. Like you can't attack any of the trauma you got going on internally if you don't feel safe on your day to day. Because your walls up. You know what I'm saying? They up, they sturdy, like you not taking them down. But if you could like facilitate places where you could take them down, then like you could actually build. And that's like also something that we trying to get into is like a healthy, that we all the way into is a healthy space that's cultivated where people could express themselves, bro, and be who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Cause I feel like in this community, like you said, we go through so much. Everybody have a similar story of somebody, going to jail for a long time. They lost a loved one, through violence and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of people, they struggle with, dealing with that. So it's kind of hard to really, people don't even know how to go on to even go through that. And like you said, for you was able to watch videos and read books. So like you said, you had a lot of self healing, but I feel like a lot of people in our community, their self healing is unfortunately substance abuse. So I feel like a lot of people cope differently. A lot of people don't have that same. They're not wired the same to say, okay, I don't want to go through substance. I want to learn. I want to heal. I want to grow. To heal myself. So what other ways would you suggest for somebody to do that? That may not, they don't know any other ways of self healing. They only know what they've seen of drinking and drugging and smoking, which is nothing wrong with that because I mean we all went through that road. But
Right.
what other suggestions would you have for somebody that's watching this and want another route to take?
That's trying to work through like the trauma and the pain of our community. I gotta reinforce that it starts on leaning through each other. Like you don't get through things like that individually. You know what I'm saying? Like I had support from my family, like people holding me through that pain, and like I put that pain into the passion that I have now. But like I wouldn't have been able to do that if like I couldn't just go in my uncle's room and cry at 3 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So like first removing the stigma that we can't be openly vulnerable. Like I talk about crying publicly all the time. This is probably something a decade ago I wouldn't do. Like I probably wouldn't converse with you like Robbie crying and shit. Like Robbie releasing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's important for us to understand that we can be vulnerable in public. We should be vulnerable with the people that we love and like trust that we're gonna be secure in those spaces. So like I wish that foundation for everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's something that if you don't have, that you gotta seek for yourself. And your community and your family isn't always the people that's blood related to you. It's the people that you feel safe around. So find you a safe space and like work through that with those people. And if you get into a position as to where that you can go to therapy and you able to talk to somebody that might be licensed or skilled and like working through that, then you should take that up. But start by like having dialogue with the people that you love and that love you and like really getting into it and working it out.
Word, I definitely agree with that.
Word.
So now I guess focusing now on the future with BMU and everything that y'all doing for the community. What do you see for yourself for let's say the next year? What y'all got planned?
Uh, Yo, for the first couple of years, like we was just like doing programs and stuff and like you know what I'm saying, trying to build, trying to organize. And like now we done like got a little bit more intentional about like actually trying to like build capital. Cause it's like, you know what I'm saying, you can't like fund, like you can't build a revolution without capital because you need capital for infrastructure. You need to be able to give people jobs, you need to be able to give people food, you need to be able to house people. So you need funds to do all that, and you need to be able to be cognizant of the fact that you're not getting none of that from the government. Because why would somebody that's trying to oppress you give you the resources to liberate yourself? They're not going to do that. So like we trying to create a power base essentially. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get too specific on that, but just to really entrench ourselves like in all areas of the community. So like people know us for, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote, being radical or being political, but also for serving our people, for being there for our people, and, you know what I'm saying, presenting elements of black power in our community. But people also need to know us as people who can give people jobs, you know what I'm saying? People are starting to know us now as people who have access to food and who are able to provide groceries. So that's another step. People also need to know us as educators, people that are teaching our students. So we try to like branch out into those two different areas, specifically, you know, education, also building resources and like having a sustainable network as to say like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying, bro, I'm down. Like, oh, all right, bro, we gonna lift you. You feel me? Like we got the power to do that. Like you ain't gotta go to this office and apply to this and wait 30 days. Like what you need? Nah, we got you.
Word, yeah,
That's how we try and give it up.
that's what's up. So before we wrap this up, tell people how they could connect with you, how they could find more information.
Uh, Before we even get digital, yo, we outside every weekend. We be on the Ave every 2 weeks, right in front of the Mary Bethune Center. From around like 12 to 4, we be serving our people, building with political education, providing resources for our people. Pull up on us in the physical. Like, we be outside. Y'all can get with us. Digitally, y'all can get with us on IG, Twitter, Build More Unity. That's our IG names. That's our email as well. Hit us. If you follow us on IG, the application link is in our bio. We always looking for African people to join, you know what I'm saying, and expand. If you're not African, you can't join, but you could volunteer at events. You could support us. It's also Build More Unity on Cash App and Venmo. Any type of contributions is obviously going to our programs, and the support is appreciated because, like I said, all the way in the beginning, we not a nonprofit, we not an LLC, so you know what I'm saying. All of everything we do is off the muscle, and more importantly, off the support of the people, because the people have to sustain themselves, and that's all we are is an extension of the masses. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they could get with us, for real.
Man, anything else you want to say?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell the people?
Hell yeah. All power to the people. Believe in yourself. Believe in your neighbors. It starts on a smaller scale than building organizations, you know what I'm saying? Organize your block. If it's an issue on your block, get with your neighbors. Make that happen. You should know all your neighbors on a first name basis. You know what I'm saying? If it's something going on, attend to that. And that's how you start. You go block to block. You go town to town. We go state to state. We take over the nation. Politics in terms of Democrats and Republicans ain't gonna save us. We gotta save ourselves. Stop looking at your brother or your sister as your enemy and look at them as your comrade. Because when the revolution comes, we gotta be ready. If we not ready, then we not gonna win. And you know what I'm saying? Allah will provide for the just that are facing oppression. He said that. He also said that if you are being oppressed, you have the right to resist that oppression. So know that the work that we doing is God given and we moving with purpose. And if you trying to tap in, come get with us.
I definitely appreciate you coming out and talking. You
This
just
was a bill.
you just gave us a lot of knowledge, gave everybody a lot of knowledge, and
This
yeah,
was
it was a
good.
great conversation. I'm definitely glad you came and you chopped it up with us.
Word up, bro.
Definitely.
Word up.
One thing I do want you to share though is just it's just a time where maybe where you yeah, they can hear me.
Yeah,
Shit pick
I'm
up.
just gonna
you coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell us a time where you started your journey, your new, you know what I'm saying, your journey of, you know, teaching Pan Africanism, and you went through something where you were just like, I don't even know if I'm gonna keep going no more. I know you mentioned school one time, but what's something besides that happened to you that you just had to, you know, brush yourself off and just keep going forward?
True. So this was around the time of the first time like we disbanded as an organization. Like we took that pause. We had some members in the party that was like, you know what I'm saying, stirring disunity and discord, you know what I'm saying, like creating drama in the party. And it's like that was a little difficult to navigate, you know what I'm saying? When you sincere your heart in the work, you got people that's on bullshit, that shit can be demoralizing. And niggas know that bullshit like spreads like a virus. Like it starts
Like a
to take
cancer.
over, like a cancer. That shit starts to take over. So that shit really had me on some shit like, yo, like I'm not even really rocking with this right now, you know what I'm saying? We disbanded for a little bit, and like in that disbanded time, it's like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like we not about to do the work because like our capacity is too low, or like some people have created like drama and disunity in the organization. Nah, like we supposed to struggle through that. You know what I'm saying? We not all gonna get along. We not all gonna find common ground all the time, but we all gotta be united on principles. So it's growing out of like that petty difference that we had, understanding that we could build on anything. But that was definitely one time where I was like, and this was early on in the consciousness too. I was like, damn, son, like how we gonna get this shit right? Like if like we allow some shit like this to happen on a small scale where our numbers is low, our resources is low, and it was that. So I was feeling down there, but we definitely elevated it for sure.
For like Steph said, we definitely want to thank you for coming through, bro. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, bro.
Word.
Word.
Make sure y'all tap in. You know what I'm saying? Steph, drop your IG where they can catch you at, bro.
My IG's Hollywood Steph. That's Hollywood Steph 1F. Facebook, Stefon Brown. Check me out everywhere. I'm everywhere.
We outside.
Steph, nah, we outside. This was a bill.
I think this was episode 6 too, man. We just gonna keep going, man. That's it, man. Y'all already know we going forward. Don't let nothing stop y'all. Only thing that can stop you is you, man. You versus you. We out.
Talk that.
Oh, the button over there. Forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a